Um, it's it's dark, man, because he has this. Welcome to Blockbuster Review. It is where I play a single game of Tetris Marathon and try and review a film before the blocks reach the top or until 150 lines. Spoilers are at line 50. And here we go. The movie Prisoners, starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman, is awesome. It's dark and it's rad, but it is awesome. It tells the story of the Dover family, specifically Keller Dover, and their daughter, and their daughter's friend / neighbor, who get kidnapped. The investigation is held up by a Detective Loki, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, who they have their original suspect, who is Paul Dano, who drives around in a camper van, but they don't believe did it, and they have no physical evidence to prove he did it. But Hugh Jackman's character Keller is convinced he did. When they eventually release him from the police custody, Keller is there to confront him outside, and when he does, Paul Dano's character slips up and says they were fine the last I saw them, and this drives Keller up the wall. He demands justice, and he knows that Alex Jones, Paul Dano's character, knows something. Detective Loki then has to start pursuing other means. He starts looking into other stuff. And starts chasing it down. Meanwhile, Hugh Jackman's character kidnaps Paul Dano and starts to torture him for information. It's dark, man, because he has this dude holed up in an old property he has that was left by his dad, who has, you find out through awesome backstory and great use of oh my gosh, exposition, that Hugh Jackman's father killed himself and left the property to his family, which eventually would turn into Hugh Jackman. And Hugh Jackman's always put off cleaning up the building and then putting it up for sale or renting it out. And so he takes this Paul Dano character, Alex Jones, in there and just starts torturing his ass, beating him. Are we gonna get to? I want to get to spoilers before I mention this. He sets up a thing that locks him in a shower that will only spray extremely hot or extremely cold water on him, with only a tiny hole for light and air, and says, "I will let you out if you just tell me where my daughter is." And eventually, the only thing he really gets out of him is that his name is not Alex. Meanwhile, Detective Loki is chasing down all these possible leads. He ends up chasing a guy away from the candlelight vigil that turns out to be a huge bust, but the guy is drawing mazes, and he is like setting up little plays where he is actually abducting children, when he's actually doing it in this weird play-like fashion where using animal blood and clothes that he is stealing from people's homes. So it's a big bust. It's not him. And meanwhile, this is days and days going by. Hugh Jackman character Dover is just torturing a gentleman in a bathroom. And I haven't mentioned yet, which I think might change your opinion on his character, the man he is clearly torturing is developmentally challenged, maybe psychologically developmentally challenged. He's not well, and Hugh Jackman is just beating him repeatedly to get any information. Even going so far as bringing in his neighbor, who is the father of the other missing child, and basically being like, look, we're in this together to find our daughters. You want to stay here while I beat him. Eventually he gets his the neighbor's wife also involved, the mother of the child. It's one of those movies that it's a big old mystery with great twists and turns, and I don't want to give away everything. But I will say this. I felt like it was a mystery where it didn't give you all the pieces so you could figure it out yourself. I do think it's designed so that you do not... Maybe I'm wrong. It's also possible that I just missed something, or I'm dumb. I'm just... I shouldn't speak about myself that way. Why am I apologizing to myself in front of you? It's also possible I missed a very important line of dialogue, but I did not see the ending coming. I was sitting there thinking, like, okay, so how is Paul Dano's character involved? How did he get away with his van being so clean and free of any indication that the girls were there when clearly he had something to do with it? Where are these kids? There's also a lot of... There's a lot to do with the imagery of a maze, which is very clever because, I mean, what is a mystery if not a maze to figure out the truth? And it keeps coming up everywhere. This maze, a very specific kind of maze, too. Certain suspects keep drawing it. Detective Loki finds it on a version of the maze on a Netflix. Not a Netflix. I think that's where I watched it. On Netflix. He was wearing a necklace with a maze on it. There's all this going back to mazes, and it doesn't seem like it makes any sense. And then it clicks for both men in different ways, and they click on different things that eventually lead each other to the solution of the crime. But oddly, I don't think it really... I mean, I'm not going to reveal exactly what happened. If you want to know what happens in Prisoners, watch the movie. It's well worth your time. Great performances. Very moody. Well shot. Well paced. Just fantastic. It is dark and rated R for very good reason. But I don't think Hugh Jackman's character, who is super into Jesus, by the way, that's semi-important, I don't think he figured out anything. Like, he figured out one thing that eventually got him almost killed, but he didn't really figure out anything. The true hero was the detective that eventually ran it down and got it taken care of. I could be wrong. Prisoners. On Netflix last time I checked, and pretty darn dope. Peace!